Alright, so I basically wanted to talk about my experience with Streamers University just for the last couple of days, because technically my experience with Streamers University started Friday evening. So I was really just chilling until my boy ATP Worthy, he calls me up and he's like, Mac, we should probably go camp tonight. There's a lot of people already there waiting in line to go meet Kai, and I'm thinking, wow, 2 days early. That's kind of crazy. So I decide, I was like, this isn't really my type of way that I would like to do things, but somewhere in the back of my head, there was just that pulsing feeling of hope, that something good might happen. So what I did was, I packed together some of my stuff, toothbrush, comb, my outfit, so on and so forth, and he picked me up, went all the way over there, and then, we just started mingling with some of the other creators over there. It was pretty cool. I got to interview a couple of people that were over there on Friday night, and I had a pretty good time, and then after that, once it was just getting more crowded and more packed, but then, there were these guys, and I think it was this clothing brand, right? They were going around asking creators if they wanted to box one of the representatives they had for a chance to win a $150 hoodie. Granted, I'm Patrick's neighbor, I live kind of under a rock, so I don't really know who any of the big name creators are, so I just didn't want to take part in that, just as a PR move, because you never know who could be watching. But eventually those guys ended up getting somebody to find a challenger for them. So somebody called the police, not sure if it was campus security or if it was a bystander or even somebody at the event, But the police came, they swept the whole place, they kicked everybody out, So folks were either camping in their cars nearby. I overheard that some folks went to the McDonald's and they overtook it. And I asked for what me and the homies did. We really just kind of hung out on the street nearby, and I think this happened till 3 a.m. It was really fun, we got to have post-game interviews, I like to call it, with other types of content creators, and really just talk about aspirations and dreams and what our game plan was if we were to get that one-on-one with Kai. And then after that, it's already been a long day, and we're thinking, is it worth it to come back Saturday because the police kicked people out? And I really didn't think it was worth it, because people were going to come back, and if they got kicked out on Friday, my thought process was, oh, someone's going to do something to get kicked out on Saturday, right? So I ended up taking Saturday to redo my whole outfit, and then I wanted to reevaluate how I was going to approach Kai, but more importantly, how I wanted to carry myself and my brand and my image, my character. I wanted to show the real Mac Almighty in every single aspect, my body language, the way I talked, interacted with people, because, you guys already know, that name one video where I wasn't playing a character, where I wasn't acting, but claimed to be myself, and it not be me. Anyways, I figured I'd take Saturday to really re-hone, so I put together a nice little project. I put this thing called an EPK, which is an electronic press kit, and it basically had my resume on there, a little bit of my life story on there, and then just this nice slideshow I put together with samples of my content and really just explaining to Kai that I was already prepared for this, that I wouldn't really need anything like PR training or whatnot, because I already went to school for this. I already have a somewhat of a professional aspect to myself, and I wanted him to really take interest not only in me, but to the potential that I have, not only to help him grow, but to help me grow as well. So, at the end of the day, I wanted to seem professional and also put a bit of a partnership aspect on it. So, come Sunday, right, and I'm prepared to get dressed in this really nice outfit that I think is representative of me, and head over to Streamers University. So then we get to the campus, it's 6 a.m., right? And, I have my chair, my 3DS, I'm ready to mingle. And for the first couple, I think few hours, I think it was 4 hours, maybe till 11, I was mingling with a bunch of other content creators. I was having a great time, but it was just after that point, things kind of got a little too hectic and monotonous, but it started really, really getting hectic. Mind you, the sun was beating down on us Right now, if you can see from the skin tone of my hand compared to my face, I am a cracker. My face should not be Dynamite Anton red, you know? I've been waiting since 6 a.m. Oh, what's up, Gargoyle? Gargoyle mentioned. Bro, push the mic out the way. Anyways, so I was waiting until 6 a.m., right? And, to Friday technically. But, so the sun is just beating down, I'm sweating, I'm in a suit, right? And it's just, the day is getting hard because there wasn't a lot of water, and there's an aspect of preparation that, of course, every person has to think about before even going to an event like this. But for an event that would take this long, there's also an aspect of preparation that runs out, especially when the instructions say that you cannot carry a bag that isn't transparent. So I had nothing on me, right? I had a couple water bottles, my keys, and that's really it, right? So then later on, I get very close to the line, and I am in one of the front rows because it was a long line coming from the campus sidewalk from the quad, turning left into. Can you stop, bro? Please, bro, please. And there was this long line, right, going straight from the campus quad. Then it goes left and makes a zigzag formation pattern into one of the administration buildings, in which I'm assuming the event was held. Spoilers for what happens, by the way. So, I'm very happy and very positive, me and my group nearby, we're making friends, networking, exchanging all this contact information. And eventually it's almost my turn. Mind you, I would have gotten my turn in that very first round, right? But somebody opened one of the gates, because it was going snake formation, zigzag, right? And the left side, I think in the second row, somebody lifted one of those fence formations, and people just kept flooding in. So the dudes on the right side of the rows were not moving at all. Only people on the left side of the second row and up. I was on the right side of the first row, and I was like, man, I can see the balloon arch from here. I can see the doors. I can taste victory because I had a very, very solid game plan. And looking at other people's interviews and applications, I've noticed the type of people that get denied and the type of people that get accepted. I am 100% sure that my game plan was so good that I would have gotten accepted. So it really bums me out to bring the news that the second Kai showed up at around 1 p.m., he came to the front of the door, in front of the line. Everyone just crammed through, just started hopping fences, shoving people out the way. I think people were getting trampled, literally just like Travis Scott's Astroworld incident. And it's just, people were just rushing forward, World War Z zombie style, trying to get the Kai, yeah. And it's just that messed everything up. Now, granted, there was very little security and management was poor because all these barricades I'm talking about weren't set up till around 11 a.m. I was there since 6. So, it's just, then the line just completely scrambles up and it takes forever to disperse everybody and even longer to reform the second line, which was just a straight line into the quad. No more barriers or anything like that, right? Apparently, people were given blue tickets that were in the front of the line, right? So that they could have priority to get in to see Kai Cenat. I did not get a blue line, nor did I hear anything about a blue ticket as well. So then I tried to get a ticket while I'm waiting in line. Guy says, oh, we're not giving out any more tickets, man. But if you want to get a ticket, there's 2 lines. Over there. I was waiting in a separate line for another 2 hours for a blue ticket that did not exist. And I thought to myself, is this a setup? Are they distracting people in these 2 lines over here so that more people can focus over there? Then it clicked to me. They lied about the tickets. Lo and behold, that ended up being the truth. So after that, I meet up with a couple other creators, and I get an interview with some people. I also just get to mingle, talk with others, really about how they're feeling, how they think the event is going so far, and just about what we do, what we like to showcase as content creators or even as people. And it was going really well. So then I get back in line for one final time. Mind you, it's about 4 p.m. once I, finish all this mingling. And I'm in line, I'm mingling even more, I make a couple of more friends. And then right as the line is starting to speed up a little bit, and I get pretty close to Kai's front door, of the entrance building, I'm like, what, 20 people away? The event shuts down. Kai says, we're done for the day, everybody go home. I tried my best to stick around because, like I said, I put everything on a USB kit. It would have been very beneficial for me to get to meet Kai because my game plan was I wanted to shake his hand, but I also wanted to just thank him, Without too much glaze, I wanted to thank him sincerely for putting on this event, to be able to give a platform for other people that genuinely believe in themselves. But I know that all those interviews must have been tiring, and I don't blame him, for ending the event when he did. I don't blame him because he did a full shift of interviewing people, so that's not what I was frustrated with. I was frustrated with the handling of the outside coordination of the event is what I was really frustrated with, because it's one thing getting denied from Streamers University, it's another thing to not even get my chance, And I know a lot of other people feel this way as well. A lot of other people were bummed that they didn't really get their chance. And I get that not everybody can be seen because there was a lot of people at today's event. However, there's people that were starving for it, people that really had something to prove, people that had hope and believed in themselves. And then there were LARPers who were there just for the clout and the networking, So all in all, it's just I'm not mad at Kai Cenat, and if he were to somehow see this, thank you for putting on Streamers University and even giving a chance to people in the first place to just be able to get their own growth in their platform to expand. But all in all, I really just wanted to share about how my experience was, think of this as my very own post-game interview, But either way, at the end of the day, everything is immaculate because we are almighty. So, have a good one, and hopefully, next time.